Hi, I'm Nancy O'Neill. Today on Suncoast FYI, we talk to Communications Coordinator Nalani Simpson with the Humane Society of Sarasota, founder Karen MacDonald of Wrapped in Love, event chair and producer Peter Anderson of Giving Hunger the Blues, and president and CEO Elizabeth Fisher of Selah Freedom. All next on Suncoast FYI. Nalani Simpson, Communications Coordinator for the Humane Society of Sarasota County, returns to the show with Miss Penny.
Yes, hello.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nancy, for having us.
Of course. And she's all ready for your Halloween costume party.
Yes, she is all dressed up as a ladybug and is ready for our 20th annual Halloween pet costume contest.
Oh my gosh. And when's that going to take place?
Yeah, so this year it is Wednesday, October 25th, and we're really excited to be back at Philippi Farmhouse again. This will be the second year that we're doing it at Philippi Farmhouse, and we just love it there. They have so many wonderful local vendors. You can roam the market, enjoy all the awesome fruits, vegetables, donuts, delicious things they have there, and enter your pet in for a costume contest and for a great cause.
Is there a registration fee for this?
Yes, so it is $15 per pet, and we do ask that you register your pet online in advance. Though you always can come day of, and we will have some costumes there.
Okay.
And you can just come with a costume for your four-legged friend and come on in and enter our contest.
Okay, so I mean, if they don't register, they can come with a costume on.
Yes.
So but it's better to register online than you don't have to wait in line.
Yes, you don't have to wait in line.
Right.
You're all set up. You come in, you just give us your name, and then you can enjoy the market. And so yes, we do prefer
festivities.
Exactly.
Okay, now she's a ladybug, but you have are there categories, or can it be anything? Okay, so what are the categories?
You can be just about anything with our categories. So we have cutest, funniest, spookiest, most creative, and then we have best costumed rescue. So if you have your rescue dog, think of a cute costume and come on in. And then we also have best pet owner look-alike. So we get a lot of really fun and interesting things there.
Costumes or faces? You know how you look like your pets?
Yes, that's a good question. You could probably do both, but we usually do the costume pairing of the dog and owner. Okay. So they have some sort of theme going on together.
Okay, okay. And are there prizes awarded?
Yeah, so we give trophies to all of our winners, and then everyone will receive a nice little prize package. So.
And what does that consist of? Donations that you've gotten from vendors?
Our community is wonderful, and a lot of vendors at Philippi Farmhouse Market, as well as from our animal clinic of HSSC. We offer free clinic exams, and we have a lot of fun stuff for everyone who comes to attend.
She wants to go.
Penny's excited. She is all ready for the contest. She wants to walk that stage.
And is she available for adoption, or is that?
She is not. Penny is actually part of our pet therapy team. Oh. So she visits schools and hospitals, and she brings a lot of comfort and joy to people.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Yes.
We recently had them on campus, and they're just lovely.
Yes.
So back to the event. Where can our viewers go to register?
Yeah, so just go to www.hssc.org, and you can register online. You can register more than one pet. So if you have 4 dogs, bring them all, get some cute costumes. Okay. And like I mentioned, we prefer if you register online, but you can always show up day of the event at 10:30 a.m. on Wednesday, October 25th.
Okay, and then when does it actually start? You register at 10:30, or the program starts at 10:30?
Yes. So we register at 10:30. That will go on until 11:45.
Okay.
So you have about 1 hour for registration, and then the contest will start at noon.
Okay. And so, you know, you've got all of these dogs, and I'm imagining you've got 100 dogs running around.
Yes.
Do they parade by the judges? I mean, how does the competition take place?
Yes, so we actually have all sorts of staging and everything.
Okay, does it go by category? So your dog's in a category, and then you all march in front of a judge?
So it'll go by category, and we line all the contestants up. And then the announcer will announce them to come up on stage, and we give a little detailed story, tell about the dog, they strut their stuff, and then the whole crowd goes crazy. crazy.
Oh.
We walk them off, and then afterwards, the judges, they announce the winners, and everyone really has a great time.
It sounds like a lot of fun. Well,
Yeah.
good. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you, Nancy.
And, happy Halloween.
Yes, happy Halloween.
Coming up next on Suncoast FYI, we talk to Wrapped in Love about how they're helping cancer victims, so please stay with us. Our next guest is Karen MacDonald, the founder of Wrapped in Love. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm looking forward to hearing about this. I know it's a project that's very near and dear to your heart, so could you tell us what Wrapped in Love is, please?
Sure. I actually started Wrapped in Love, the company, 3 years ago. I design wraps, head wraps, and other fashion accessories for women with cancer or those who are convalescing. And it was inspired by my mom when she was in the hospital a few years back. She had cancer and pulmonary fibrosis, and was really toward the end of her life, didn't want to have any other guests, and I just felt terrible because it's really a lot about dignity, and even though you're ill on the inside, you should still feel good about yourself on the outside and have some dignity. So I went home and made her a makeshift wrap to put around her patient gown and make her feel beautiful. And I brought it in, put it around her, and I just saw that familiar smile again, even though it was just for a brief amount of time. And the nurses said, you know, she really lit up, and you should think about doing that for others as well. So after 30 years in a different position, I decided to start my own company, Wrapped in Love. And that's what I do now. I design clothing and fashion accessories for women with cancer to give them comfort, warmth, beauty, and dignity.
And I've seen some of your designs, and they're gorgeous.
Thank you.
And they make the patients' faces light up. So what inspires your designs, though, because you have such a variety?
I actually do focus groups with cancer patients and survivors quarterly, and I go in and talk to them before I'm ready to create my new design and get the inspiration from them, those that have gone through cancer, those who are going through it right now. I bring in different fabrics to ensure that they're soft enough, especially against the scalp, the head, if they've lost their hair, but also just in general, something that is comfortable for them to wear. I try to design something that is going to be warm when they go in for chemo treatments. I work with the nurses and doctors to ensure that my design also provides them with adequate medical access to the patient as well, so that they can get to the port or they can get to the PICC line if needed. So I get my inspiration from the patients and survivors and from the medical community.
Now, where are these items available?
They're available online at wrappedinlove.com, but they're also available here at a store called Mary Ann's on Palm Avenue. She has a beautiful gift shop, and so she carries them. And also the Caring Hair Foundation, which is located in the Bold Building downtown, also carries them.
Well, I'm sure you have a lot of people working on these. Are they volunteers that create these for you?
No, actually, I design them, and then I live part-time in Michigan and part-time down here, and so I have a cut and sew facility in Detroit, Michigan that does it.
So that's where they're made?
Yes, yes, and it's important to me to have them made in the USA. I'm happy to have them made in Michigan. I'm actually looking for resources to have some made down here as well.
And how does Wrapped in Love support the whole community, the community as a whole, cancer community?
I select charities, usually on a quarterly basis, that I give back to 20% to 30%. I work with the American Cancer Society in Sarasota, the Pink Fund in Michigan, the just hospice, a number of different organizations. So that's one way, but then what I try to do is help the patients themselves. A lot of times they are out of work because of their illness, and they could use the extra money as well. So when I conduct a focus group, I pay them for their time. The majority of the models that are featured on my website and in all of my marketing are cancer patients and survivors, and so I pay them for that as well. Anytime I can use a cancer patient or survivor to help me in promoting them, or to be able to use them and give them some extra income as well.
Now, what's next for Wrapped in Love?
Well, I'm creating some new designs, but also I recently did a focus group with men because I got some calls from some men that said, are you doing anything for men with cancer?
There you go.
So I did a focus group, and I've got some ideas for maybe starting with a hat, a soft, maybe a soft baseball type cap that's breathable as well. And they gave me some ideas also for a lot of the men. Not all, but many of them have the pick lines instead of the ports.
Right.
So something that could cover up the arm and the pick, but it's fun.
Right.
So yeah.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
We'll share your website with our viewers and how appropriate your wrap is for breast cancer awareness.
That's right. Yes.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Coming up next on Suncoast FYI, we talk to Peter Anderson about this year's Giving Hunger the Blues, so please stay tuned. Event chair and producer Peter Anderson joins us in the studio today to talk about Giving Hunger the Blues. Welcome back to the show.
Nice to be back. Thank you.
It's amazing how quickly a year goes by.
You're telling me.
And I bet you've been working since we last spoke.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Give us a little bit of history about Giving Hunger the Blues, and it's been going on now for...
Well, this is our 21st annual event, and yeah, absolutely. George Generoso, who was the founder of the event, used to own the 5 O'Clock Club, and he felt that there was a need for an affordable charity event that would help to feed, protect, and nurture the children in our community. And he did a Sunday afternoon of live music, and that grew into a street festival on Hillview Street, which lasted until 2013. The event closed in 2013, and I relaunched the event in 2015.
And now it's grown to be the largest single-day event
Absolutely.
in Sarasota County.
Absolutely. In fact, we have been the largest single-day charity event for a number of years. In 2015 and 2016, last year, we were unable to produce the event on Hillview Street, so divine intervention led us to the Van Wezel.
Which is where the event
will be held this year
Okay,
for
now,
our second year.
Who benefits from this event, Peter?
All proceeds from this 100% volunteer-driven event goes to the Mayor's Feed the Hungry program, which is a 30-year-old feeding program here in the Sarasota, Manatee County areas. Their goal primarily is to raise food shortage awareness and actually raise food donations for people, especially during the holidays. So our event being the unofficial kickoff of their giving season.
Okay. Now, there's a lot of changes this year. I know you've expanded the venue. So what can our viewers go to see this year that's going to be different?
Well, as much as a blues enthusiast as I am, I'm an even bigger jazz enthusiast. And
nice combination.
I have for a long, long time lamented the fact that there wasn't a real bona fide outdoor jazz festival in Sarasota. So this year we're adding a national jazz stage. So in addition to the blues stage, which will be on the lawn at the Van Wezel, on the north side of the Van Wezel, directly on the bay, we've added a jazz stage. And the exciting part of that is that we are actually partnering with the Sarasota Jazz Club in producing that jazz stage.
Excellent. So there'll be something going on all throughout the day.
Yep, absolutely.
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. And Giving Hunger the Boo? What's
Giving Hunger the Booze.
No, the booze.
The booze.
Okay,
yes, and that's spelled with an apostrophe S, not a Z.
Okay.
That's right. And Giving Hunger the Booze is this is our second annual Halloween party, which we co-produce with Reverend Barry and Funktastic Soul,
They're
one
amazing.
of the greatest dance bands in town.
Yep.
And we're doing that Friday night at the Van Wezel. So Friday during the day we set up Giving Hunger the Blues. Friday night we have a Halloween party featuring chill lounge furniture. So it's going to be a really, really cool Halloween party.
Now, I know that you mentioned earlier, but I mean, all of this takes a lot of people to put on.
Absolutely.
You have volunteers, I'm guessing.
We
hundreds?
absolutely do. Yes, it takes us about 150 plus volunteers to actually produce the event the day of the event, in addition to the dozens of people that help us leading up to the event and actually producing the event. And volunteers are critical to the event, and if you want to have a really, really good time and give back to your community, if you go to givinghungertheblues.org and click on the Volunteer Now button,
how fun,
you'll be able to sign up for a shift, and your shift includes food, drink, party, music, Sarasota Bay, all the above.
What a deal, what a deal. Now, where can our viewers go to find out more about purchasing? Because I know you've got VIP packages, and there's, so can you tell us a little bit about that?
Our VIP package is really, really exciting this year. The VIP package includes 3 adult beverages and a Madison's catered dinner.
Wow.
So, and special VIP seating at both stages. And again, going to our website, which is givinghungertheblues.org, you will find our Buy Tickets button, and you can go there and buy the ticket that's appropriate for your comfort level.
Okay, and do they sell out? I mean, is there a limited amount of tickets?
Well, we do absolutely, because this is we're trying to create the VIP experience as a very kind of exclusive experience.
Okay.
We want to make sure that everybody's super, super comfortable. We are only selling 375 tickets, and I can tell you 90% of our ticket sales to date are VIP tickets, so those will go very quickly.
All right, great. Well, people should get on it as quickly as possible.
Absolutely,
All right.
absolutely.
Thank you again for being here.
Nice to see you again.
Have a great event.
Thank you very much.
Coming up next on Suncoast FYI, we learn how Selah Freedom is battling sex trafficking here on the Suncoast and across the U.S. Please stay with us. Our last guest this week is President and CEO Elizabeth Fisher of Selah Freedom. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You are such a busy lady, and you've added on so many events recently, and it's a pleasure to have you back.
Thank you.
So for those few people out there who don't know what Selah Freedom is, please tell us again what it is and what your mission is.
Because there's more than a few. Unfortunately, you know, every time I go somewhere, people are like, well, no, it's not really a problem here. You know, they love that we're in Chicago now, that we're in New York now, that makes sense to them, but there's no accident that it started in Sarasota, Florida, because Florida is top 3 state in the country. Our region is still vacillates between number 2 and 3 of the problem being in the state.
Mind-boggling.
Of our own children. So that's the thing to clarify. Our own children bought by our own people. Nothing international that I'm dealing with.
So when you say that, can you give us like numbers? How does that look in our community?
Help them understand. Yeah, because the root of it is what hooked me, because 1 out of 3 little girls today are dealing with sexual abuse. That's the root. So really
starting
right here,
at what age?
2, 3, 4 years old, by the very people that are supposed to protect them, love them, and care for them. We're talking fathers, moms, boyfriends, brothers, uncles, pastors,
relatives,
teachers, coaches.
Yes, people close
to
them.
And it's coming out more and more now, which is awesome, but it's also, that's why we're tripling in growth every year. People are like, how are you doing so much? I'm like, the need. We cannot get ahead of the need. So these little girls are keeping these secrets of being abused, and then by 12 to 14, something just blows. They can't keep it. And that's when, for the ones that we really deal with, those girls tend to hit the streets to run away, like anything but that.
Yeah.
And the stats tell us, no matter where you live, within 48 hours, 80% of those little girls would be approached by a guy, knows exactly what to say, lures them in. They don't know love. They're like, oh, a boyfriend, he might be 40 and I'm 15.
Yeah.
But they sell them.
Take care of me, and they think they'll feel safe, right?
And they get sold for sex 15 to 40 times a day, typically for 7 years, right here.
Amazing.
Right here.
How can parents, grandparents, who's ever a child caregiver, how can they protect their children?
You know what, it's so funny because I just had a conversation with Vanessa, my director of awareness. There are so many things. I still have a 13-year-old and a 16-year-old, and the social media, like trying to stay ahead of it. We were all in New York this past weekend, and one of them was showing me what they were doing. They weren't showing me, I found it. I'm like, what is that? And so she was telling me today, hey, we've always heard about Tinder, but do you know that there's now this? And do you know that Instagram has fake accounts? So kids are showing you one account, but they have these mock accounts under it. So we're gonna do, coming up soon, and I'll let you know, a sex lies in social media for parents, how to protect your tweens and teens. Because really, you gotta get in the 9-year-olds and 10-year-olds because they all have. A recent study from American Pediatrics said that by the age of 4, 75% of children are now given smartphones.
It's true.
age 4.
It's very sad. It's very sad.
So we need to teach the parents where the predators are coming in. There's a lot to learn.
Well, how can our community get involved?
You know what, there's so many fun ways. You have an event that is coming up. I don't know if
Yes.
you guys have the information to show on that, but it's the first big event in Sarasota on the rooftop of the Westin. I know,
Wow,
so it's November
what a beautiful
15th,
spot.
and I'm going to meet with our graduate right after I meet with you here and prepping her. She's going to share for the first time
At the event.
publicly. Yep, she has her bachelor's degree. She got her victims advocacy degree.
Through programs that you have.
Coming through, yeah, and she is on
Excellent.
staff, and the women are loving her. She is out there like an amazing advocate, so she'll be speaking.
Okay.
And that will sell out, so I'd really recommend, because they're capping us at a certain
November
number.
15th, 7 to 9.
Yes.
Rooftop of the Westin.
Rooftop of the Westin,
Okay.
beautiful event. And one more thing,
Yes.
we need volunteers always in all different aspects, but a lot of people don't know we have a retail store, Selah, S-E-L-A-H-V-I-E.
All right.
And it's upscale, resale, clothing, furniture, reclaimed stuff. And we are expanding into a Selah village, so Selah V, Selah T, but we're looking for other partners.
Okay.
And we're partnering with Rent the Runway out of New York for our upcoming fashion show. And so they're going to start doing pop-ups with us in our boutique.
Excellent.
So for all the season dresses that you need, Rent the Runway is going to be doing some stuff with us here.
Okay. Now, for a final question for you today, what is the greatest need, do you feel?
You know, I think the greatest need, unfortunately, is still awareness. I can't even tell you how many people I run into, like, you know about it and you care about it, but I would say 8 out of 10 people on the street still don't. And just to help them know, because if you don't know, you don't even know that you can protect your kid, or that you can
Or
be
how
doing
to.
something to advocate for what you might be seeing every day that you don't realize you're seeing.
Okay. And all of this is on your website,
Yes,
so we will put that
volunteer
on the screen.
information, connecting.
And what is it? Please.
The website
Yep.
is www.selah, so Selah is like the Hebrew word rest, pause, S-E-L-A-H, freedom.com.
Elizabeth, thank you so much for being with us again
Thanks
today,
for having
and
me.
see you at your event.
Very good, thanks.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Suncoast FYI, where you will return after a short break. Coming up tomorrow on the Suncoast, the Sarasota County Fairgrounds will be hosting the Repti Days, Sarasota Reptile and Exotic Animals Expo in the Potter Building. Also on Saturday, there will be a Clearwater Home Show held at the Clearwater Countryside Recreation Center. Music Compound's 3rd annual beer, band, and barbecue will be hosted at the Sarasota Farm Bureau on Palmer Boulevard from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. Tickets are available for $5. And don't miss the 8th annual Taste of St. Armand's that will take place tomorrow. If you would like to promote your community on Suncoast FYI, we would love to hear from you. Just call us at 941-361-4639. To view previous episodes, go to snntv.com under Programming. I'm Nancy O'Neill, and I'll see you next Friday on Suncoast FYI.